So Monday, and I'm out here again. Got my work done this morning. I had Erin's car for long story, so I dropped that off at her house, had my bike on the rack, and I'm riding from there, working my way into the Cuyahoga Valley. It's one of those days, it's supposed to be working its way up into the upper 30s this afternoon, but it feels much colder than that. There's actually a little bit of snow falling right now. So, I don't know, gotta bomb this cold descent into the valley. Then we'll chat about what I have going on for the end of the year. I actually stopped here to put my heavier lobster gloves on before the descent. I could already tell my hands are getting cold, and even though it's nearly impossible to film with these things on, it's a lot harder to film if my fingers turn into little icicles. So we'll see. Warm my hands up for a little bit, and then usually I get warm enough with these on that I don't need them, and I'll be good with just the Defeat thin wool gloves after a little while. Even though I'm only 6 miles in, I'm glad there's this store here because I realized I did not fuel at all, and I am so hungry. Our riding buddy Mike Maris made this, actually filmed the installation. Going to see if the towpath trail is dry and packed enough to ride back towards Akron this way. If not, I'll jump out on the road, but so far so good. So as mentioned in a previous video, I'm not someone who's a slave to cycling numbers. I log them, I like to see my stats, but I'm not training for anything serious ever, or I don't train in really any way. I just ride my bike for fun, and I do it a lot. That being said, the last few years, I hit 6,500 miles at least. Last year was nuts. I think I was over 7,200. Not even with any intention, just had a lot of time to ride, and was amazed to see that number as I got towards the end of the year. This year I'm a little off, but some for good reasons and some for bad reasons. But on a whole, I'm not disappointed in it. So I've mentioned this before, but I've started to feel like, for me personally, any year where I get at least 5,000 miles on the bike is going to be a good year. I'll be happy with that number. It means I got out a lot, you know, it's a considerable amount. But riding is what I do for fun and transportation and, you know, just everything. It's my social time. So to me, I know that number means about, yeah, this was a good year. So as I'm riding right now, probably like this very moment, I'm hitting about 6,000 miles for the year. So while filming last Thursday's video, I did the math at that point and realized if I rode 30 miles every day, an average, obviously, for the rest of the year, I could hit 6,500. And I'm just one of those people that when I get something like that in my head, I start to think about it and I can't stop. And yes, now I'm gonna try and go for it. I've worked on this farm for about a decade. Yeah, I could drive big John Deere tractors. I could plow that field right there. I have. Can't believe how good the towpath feels right down here. I don't ride the towpath a lot in the summer because it's too crowded. Maybe they actually laid down some more crushed limestone and rolled it out really good. Or maybe it's frozen. It did get pretty cold last night. I think like 25, so that could be it. So with Erin and I's weekend rides, the average is now down to a little under 29 a day I need, but our forecast after today shows 30s and 40s and a lot of rain, like all the way out. Our forecasts aren't always that accurate, but that wouldn't be off base for December in Northeast Ohio. So today I should do a double day. You know, I should try and do like 60. I just don't think I have it in me. I'll be happy with the 30. We'll see when I get back to Akron which direction I decide to go. And the reason that weather matters so much is cold rain is my nemesis. 30s and 40s in the rain, I don't own the gear for it because I don't want to ride in it, so I can't right now. I would rather be in the 20s and snowing any day of the week than a cold rain. I know that you decline types, Pacific Northwest, British cyclists, it's something if you want to ride in the winter you have to learn to deal with. In general around here I just don't have to deal with it. You know, as I said, I do own a car. But when you have a challenge in mind, it's obviously going to affect it. So it'll be interesting to see how this all goes. Old canal lock wall. They put the road right through there. The canal actually doesn't exist in this portion. This is when they built Riverview Road, they destroyed it. Down here in kind of the edge of the park, this is the little commercial district of the valley. Everyone calls it the Merriman Valley now, but originally it was called Old Portage, and they built a lot of the canal boats down here. .5 miles in. Status check. Warm enough. Feeling okay. That's it. 19 miles in. About to climb up into Akron. I just wanted to put a prediction down. It's Ben, aka Large Marge's day off. I give it about an 80% chance I run into him, and I have not talked to him today. Normally Akron's ice skating rink would be out here, but come good weather, they're going to start to rebuild this park into more of a, what would you say, hangout park. It's only really an event venue for like bigger concerts. So it's kind of exciting. I think it's going to be good. They're going to get some shade in here and stuff like that, so people can actually use it when there's not events going on. So they've moved the ice skating rink back here to Lock 2 along the canal for this year, which is not open today, so Monday. Ooh. I just went around a detour sign. I wonder if they're actually working down here today. They've been rebuilding a freeway bridge and intermittently closing the path. Yep, there's a big fence up there. This hill. Slitting? Nope, got it. So I decided to stop down here and eat the other treat that I had picked up in the park. I am 25 miles in, so I've ridden myself far enough south that no matter what, I have to get 30 miles to get myself home, at least. Little pro tip is to throw in anything warm you have with you. This is my down jacket as soon as you stop, so you don't end up getting all cold before you go back on your bike in the wind. "34 miles in, we are down on the Freedom Trail now." The Freedom Trail is not just some cheesy patriotic name I found out not that long ago. This actually used to be a rail spur that terminated in Freedom Township. So a lot of fun facts in this video today. So I just hit the 40-mile mark, still heading down the Freedom. Gonna cross over to the hiking bike and take that back into Cuyahoga Falls here in a bit. But I realized I never talked about why my mileage was down this year. But I said there were good reasons and bad reasons. So bad reasons would be sickness. In the spring I had COVID, in the fall I had the flu, So those obviously depress my mileage a little bit. Also, injuries. I think it was early summer, my back was bad a bit, slowed me down. I still rode a little bit, but not as much as I would have. And then since late summer, I've been battling sciatic pain again. I can still ride my bike like I am right now. It's that it affects every other aspect of my life. I don't sleep as well, I'm not as productive. So it's really hard to quantify how many miles I lose because of it, since I still ride, but I know it does have an effect. The good things in my life, though, were a lot of work trips. I was able to ride bikes on some of them, but not as much as I would at home. But I will never turn down free travel. I love it. Or getting better than free travel, getting paid to travel. Send me anywhere, put me on a plane, let me shoot video or photos, I'm all about it. And also my freelance photography, videography business did well this year, so I was just busy with work. That's a good thing. You know, being busy for me means that I have some of the money to do some of the more fun trips. So maybe it cuts down on some weekday miles, or I have an event on the weekend and can't ride, but overall, less mileage to do more fun things on the bike, you know. And then also did do some off-roading, a little bit of mountain biking and stuff like that, and some climbing, and that's always gonna make your miles a little lower. And I don't have a problem with that, so. So I've made the turn towards the studio. We're on the hike and bike now. Daylight's fading fast, so I will plan to check in with you with the final mileage when we get back. This trail has already been featured in, I think, the last 5 videos anyway. So, all right, see you at the studio. All right, I'm back. We ended up with 50.3 miles and I think about 1,500 feet of climbing, which is good. You know, you don't want, when you go out with tired legs and you're trying to get miles in, you don't want a ton of elevation, but it wasn't pan flat. One other thing, if you made it this far, hit the like button. And I did not run into Ben as predicted, but as I was putting my headlight on at a spot where I stopped to check out one of our secret places that we kind of had a plan for, I got a text from Ben that said, oh, by the way, I was just at blah, blah, blah. And I don't think it'll work in the winter. I asked him how long ago he was there. He said an hour. So I saw some of his Instagram stories right before I turned this camera on, and we crossed over all the same areas, just slightly missed each other. So anyways, I'll keep you posted on whether I can pull off this 6,500 miles or not. And that's it for now. See you in the next one.